So play this clip. This is when, Rob, can you first show the date? This is March of this year, right? We're talking March of this year, March 8th of this year. This is you. Okay, if you can play this.
He gets what's going on. He's not going back.
He
believes in the people. And so I predict he won't be at Fox News in the near future if he's unable to put this out. I'm going to leave it at that. But that's speaking from my perspective. I'm not speaking for Tucker.
Why'd
now,
you
Cheryl
say
Atkinson.
What was your reasoning for saying that? Why'd you say Tucker's not going to be at Fox long? Obviously, 2 months later, he's not. And there's a feud there. But why did you say that?
Well, because they'll attribute things to Tucker because they know we talk some and hang out some. He's on the other side of Florida over in
Naples.
He's in Boca Grande or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so we hung out on Thanksgiving last year. But he used to think I was full of it. And then he kind of woke up with a lot of stuff. Came in to visit me like 10, 11, 12 years ago. We became friends, hung out. And then he still thought I was kind of crazy. And then he learned more and more as it went along. And so I had called him. I think we talked like the day before that or something. I don't remember exactly. And I'd said, listen, all the things you're doing they're going to let you go. I said, there's no way that, and we had a private conversation about that, and he didn't see it coming. And I said, well, I just really think you should do your own thing when this goes down. And I said, because we'd already talked about this some at Thanksgiving and infrastructure, independent things, the future, and because he's kind of sticking his toe in that. And then I said, okay, well, I predict you're going to be gone within a month. I said, I smell it. And I just, it's not even like being psychic. I get all this data, and all I do is immerse myself. You call it the Holy Spirit, whatever you want, but it's like, boom, then I see something. Like I saw the World Trade Center towers on fire. I saw all the troops in the streets, and I could just see all the programming because you can just see how they're getting you ready for it. And like you said, when you're in the military, they start telling you, hey, terrorism's about to happen. Get ready, boys. Yeah. Get ready, boys. Well, they were doing that. I mean, like, get ready, the terrorists are about to hit us, and your life's going to change. I mean, it's not that hard. And you go, okay, what are they going to hit? What are they programming? And then they just had a lone gunman show where they flew a jumbo jet hijacked into the World Trade Center to blame a Middle Eastern terrorist to invade Afghanistan. Now, I said at the time, see, they're going to attack the World Trade Center. That's another reason. Later, Chris Carter contacts me and says, yes, that's true. The CIA contacted me. They did this routinely, and they basically wrote that script 9 months before 9/11, and then he produces it. It aired 6 months before. It was the Lone Gunman spinoff. And then he based the 2016 series on me. That's interview. He said that. I'm not trying to brag. It's just crazy. The whole talk show host ends up being right at the end. And that's another reason they came after me, because they're like, this guy's getting too popular, even with the thinker people they don't control. So the CIA came to Carter and said, we want you to put this out. And then you notice his 2016 show is all about a vaccine that has a system in it that basically destroys your immune system. And so they have some reason wanting to pre-program us. And I don't think Carter's with them. I think he figured out, he thought he was just helping. He realizes now he was like programming the subconscious for something. This is very sophisticated. You have your conscious, you have your unconscious, and you have your subconscious. Or you have your conscience, and you have your subconscious, and you have the unconscious. And so they're directly trying to talk to the unconscious. And that's thousands of times more powerful, they believe, than the conscious, and hundreds of times more than the unconscious.
Why do you think they let Tucker go? Why do you think specifically on the Fox side?
Well, I actually know why.
Okay.
I mean, I know well, they were already planning to do it. And then let's just say this. The Vanity Fair article, or was it the Hollywood Reporter, I forget. Which one was the one that Rupert Murdoch was upset by his fiancée being Christian?
Oh, yeah, I remember reading that where Tucker was talking about God a lot in that speech, and that it pissed him off because Rupert Murdoch is an atheist.
Well, and
he got really pissed off.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair. And so the night they pulled the trigger was when he gave that Heritage Foundation speech. And he said, look, God's real. You need to pray to God at least 5 minutes a day. Evil's real. And you need to get God. You need to get God right now.
Tucker said that.
Tucker did that
in a speech. At the Heritage Foundation.
And then Murdoch called the head of Fox and said, I want him fired, and I want him fired Monday morning. Don't tell him until we put the press release out simultaneously. So they call him, get him on the phone, say you're fired, and then put the press release out and hang up on him.
Alex, how do you know this?
And then they won't tell him.
How do you know this? Is it because people from...
I can't give sources.
No, I'm not giving names. I'm not giving names.
My sources are so good that I even had Tucker's guys like, come on, Alex, don't tell everybody everything. And I didn't even get it from Tucker. I got some of it. The point is, I know everything.
Okay, somebody.
In fact, I got stuff so incredible it'll blow you away, but I can't tell you. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
This is all, from my perspective, this is what I hear. What I'm getting is I have a different source. My source is the amount of people that have reached out that want to come join our organization. And we're not even a big media company. We're barely getting started. We're a small little media company here in South Florida. And but the amount of people that are saying, hey, are you looking for talent? We heard you're looking for talent. We don't want to be here long term. Some of the stuff that's going on the inside at Fox is not something.
Fox is falling apart. I mean, Tucker, obviously, his former lead producer that put up the thing that Biden's an aspiring dictator. That was his last hurrah, knowing they'd fire him. They're all going to join Tucker. He's built it. I interrupted. Sorry. Tell me what's going on.
No. All I'm saying is we get to call on people. So you're saying Tucker's planning on building a media company,
or on Twitter?
I think that's obvious.
Okay.
I mean, yes. But here's the thing. I don't want to give anything out of confidence. And so I've learned, I have Fox sources, I have other sources, I've talked to people, and I mean, that's obvious that's what he's going to do. I mean, in his first new show that got like 100 and whatever million views, he said, I plan to do monologues and then more things after that. So yes, what you saw with his Fox Nation thing, but done right, is what he's planning. It's all, the thing is, people say things are classified or they're secret. Real intelligence is what's right in front of you. So Tucker has said he's going to do all this. And so then I do know some of the things he's planning, but I'm not going to repeat that. I can just tell you what I can, with human intelligence, see is going on. But yes, Fox has actually lost 50+% of its main viewers. It's like 65% of their key demo. Basically, they committed suicide, again, just like all these other leftist companies. Because they're planning something big, and I don't think they care. And the central banks with the ESGs can give them unlimited money to prop them up later. That's why these companies fall over themselves to lose $24 billion at Target or $15 billion at Anheuser-Busch. Fall over themselves to do this is because they're planning something so big, and things are going to be shook up so bad that none of this is going to be here anymore. And then that leads us to the Russia situation.
Who are some of the guys you're seeing right now that are either in the process of being the next Tuckers or are in the camp of Tucker, that they're pushing the envelope, they're challenging the establishment? Who else would you put? Obviously not at Tucker's level. Tucker's a guy that's the MJ of the industry today. Who else you see is coming up? Whatever different places they are there any other names that you're seeing that's going under the direction that Tucker's going? Like, for example, when we used to watch Tucker back in the days with Crossfire, and he's doing what he's doing with Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart's trying to punk him, and you see how Tucker stood up to him, and challenge him, and then look, he went from being who he was back then in the bow tie to not being the Tucker of nobody's getting the kind of eyeballs he's getting. So who won at the end of the day? Tucker won from going, John.
Well, that's the thing. Tucker is a genuinely nice guy, but he's also a big guy and really smart, and he has a temper. So the point is that them messing with him and stuff made him go from being a Mr. Nice Guy to no more Mr. Nice Guy. And now he's really no more Mr. Nice Guy. I don't think anybody's in his class for being able to do interviews or think on his feet or do a great monologue, because he writes all that himself. He's a great writer, great researcher. And then I think Joe Rogan, just because of his curiosity and because of his being skeptical, obviously he's just going to continue to get bigger. I think people like yourself. I've seen your show exponentially grow. It's always been popular, but I see it everywhere now. It's just obviously exploding.
What do you think about? I guess the question I was more asking is guys from mainstream media, not the podcast guys. Like, who at Fox do you see? Do you like what Brett does? Do you like what some of the guys at Megyn Kelly's doing? Obviously, Megyn Kelly's at a different place. Who are some of the names that you're saying? And Megan's already she's one of the best. I'm talking about some of the people at Fox that you're saying that guy maybe won't be at Fox too long himself. Is there anyone at Fox that you're thinking?
I get your question. No, I don't think anybody's in Tucker's league. I don't think any of those people all just have producers. They try to break stories. They try to chase stories. And Fox is basically a sinking ship. And so I do think a lot of them are going to leave and be successful in whatever type of programs they do. But at the same time, look, everything is going to be either you're a populist, anti-New World Order, or you're a globalist suck-up. And so that's it. Everything's going to go towards, are you going to sit there and buy the BS of Neil deGrasse Tyson when he just tells you stuff that's completely untrue? And he just says, science, 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 science. You're like, well, show me. Science. He's like, I have a pink Lamborghini outside. Well, show me. No science. You don't question that. I say it's going to be 400 degrees outside tomorrow. Well, show me the facts. No science. Well, it was all tested. These drugs were all approved. No, they weren't. They were brought on market and then approved. An emergency deal. That's totally separate. Never before done. He's just, no. It was all approved. Massive testing. We've never done more studying in our entire universe as we've done on these shots. These are safe, effective, pure, clean, wonderful. And not one word of that's true. I mean, remember the first year, it was an open piece of paper when you opened up the vaccine ampule by law. It has to be in there. And it just said the name of the company. Not one thing that was in it because none of it was approved. Emergency authorization. And then they did, quote, studies and suppress those studies. And that's all a fact. And they don't want you to even be able to say that. Anybody can look at what I just said. So it's going to be, are you going to sit there and take the establishment's money and tell people that there's, that there's ice water in hell, or are you going to try to figure out what's going on? So everything is going to be the quest for legitimacy, the quest for curiosity, and the quest of skepticism. And if you're not skeptical in this environment, you're an idiot. We have gotten in this situation because we've not been skeptical. And if you go to places like Russia or the Middle East or places that have had turmoil more recently, people are skeptical or they're dead. And so you either get skeptical and get your head in the game and learn how stuff works, or you're dead. We've had it so good in this country. We're the best house in a bad neighborhood. We've had it so good in this country for at least 150 years, okay? And this place has been a wonderland compared to most other countries. And so people now have grown up off our grandparents and off their grandparents, the average American, and have no idea how good we've had it. And the fact that God is lowering the defense shield now because we have stopped being good moral people, and now tyranny's flooding in, and we better find God and find skepticism and find rugged individualism and find the will to stand up and have courage, or we'll lose everything. People always say, oh, you've got courage to fight them. I'm trying to get out of walls closing in on my family and my country and the world. It's not courage to be trying to get out of this thing. I mean, you take the cheesy Star Wars analogy where they're in the trash compactor, it's going to kill them. Do they have courage trying to get out of there? No, they're fighting for their lives. If somebody tied bowling balls to my legs and threw me in the deep end and I'm fighting, trying to claw my way up out of there, it's not courage. It's the opposite. It's self-preservation. Yes. So people better understand it's not courage, okay? It's the courage to save yourself, which isn't courage at all, in my view.
Hey, if you enjoyed this short clip, you want to watch the whole thing, click over here. But if you want to make 2023 the beginning of the greatest years of your life, I host a conference once a year. It's called the Vault Conference, where 3,000 CEOs, executive, entrepreneurs from around the world come together to strategize for 3.5 days. This year it's going to be at Miami Diplomat Resort. And the speakers this year is going to be Tom Brady. He'll be there. I'll be interviewing him. Mike Tyson, Will Guidara, the guy that ran 11 Madison in New York. If you run a business, if you're a CEO, entrepreneur, and executive, this is not an event you want to miss out on. Get yourself, your spouse, your business partner, your running mates registered, and I look forward to seeing you there. Click on the link here or see the link in the description, and I hope to spend 3.5 days with you in Miami in August and September. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.